Assalamu alaikum students, welcome to Air Foundation School System. Our previous lecture was about the mechanism of respiration, that is mechanism of respiration, and today we are going to discuss the energy budget of respiration. What was the first step of mechanism of respiration? Glucose molecule break into two molecules of pyruvic acid, and each of these molecule of pyruvic acid enter into Krebs cycle before entering that combine to coenzyme A and change into acetyl coenzyme A. When this acetyl coenzyme A completely oxidized, that change into carbon dioxide and water, and NADH and FADH2 are produced. These NADH and FADH2, when passed through electron transport chain, all the energy change into ATP. Now, how many molecules are produced from each molecule of glucose? When glucose change into pyruvic acid, in the first step, two NADH molecules are produced, and each NADH, when one molecule of NADH is produced, that gives 3 ATP molecules. But here, two NADH produce 4 ATP. It means one NADH produced 2 ATP. Actually, 1 ATP is used to transport it across the mitochondrial membrane for further reaction. So, one molecule of ATP is used here, and 2 molecules of ATP are produced from one NADPH. And pyruvic acid change into coenzyme A, 2 further NADH are produced, that will give 6 ATP molecules. And these acetyl coenzyme A, when completely oxidized and carbon dioxide is produced, in this cycle 6 NADH and 2 FADH2 are further produced. These 6 NADH2 produced 18 ATPs, and these 2 FADH2 produced 4 ATP, because one FADH produced 2 ATPs. In this way, 2 ATP are produced over here and 2 ATP are produced in Krebs cycle. In this way, total ATP which are produced in one glucose molecule are 38, but 2 are used to transport it across the mitochondrial membrane, so net yield is 36. From one molecule of glucose, total ATP are produced 38, actually 2 are used, and from 38 2 are used, and 36 is the net yield of ATP. So this is the energy chart of respiration. Now, what is the difference between photosynthesis and respiration? When we compare the photosynthesis and respiration, photosynthesis is an anabolic process because different molecules are formed in this process, and respiration is a catabolism because it is a breakdown and small molecules are formed from the large molecule. So it is anabolism and respiration is a catabolism. And energy is invested when in photosynthesis, that is in the form of bond energy, because energy is stored in the bonds of food molecule in photosynthesis, and energy is transformed into chemical energy of ATP in the process of respiration. So energy is stored in bond energy and in photosynthesis, and energy is transformed into chemical energy of ATP. That is energy investment. Difference between respiration and photosynthesis. Photosynthesis takes place only in plants while respiration takes place in all organisms. Photosynthesis takes place in organelles called chloroplast and respiration takes place in organelles called mitochondria. And time of occurrence for photosynthesis is only daytime because sunlight is present at the day and sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis, so it takes place only in the daytime, while respiration takes place all the time in the day and at the night. So these are the differences of photosynthesis and respiration. Now what are the difference between aerobic and anaerobic differences? Aerobic and anaerobic respiration. First difference is presence of oxygen. We know it very well that oxygen is not present during aerobic respiration, but presence of oxygen is essential in anaerobic respiration. Similarly, number of ATP in aerobic respiration is 36, while during anaerobic respiration, when one glucose molecule breaks down, only two molecules of ATP are produced. When one molecule of glucose is oxidized completely, the final product are carbon dioxide and water. But the final product of anaerobic respiration are lactic acid or ethanol. Site of occurrence where it takes place. Anaerobic respiration takes place in the mitochondria and aerobic respiration takes place in the cytoplasm. It is the major energy source of most of organisms. Aerobic respiration is the major energy source of most organisms. But anaerobic respiration, that is a source of energy for anaerobic organisms, or for it is a source of many products such as ethanol, cheese. Anaerobic organisms also get energy when there is short supply of oxygen. So that these are the differences of aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Try to understand it and remember these differences clearly. If you have any difficulty, you can ask question.